Hey YouTube, this is Mike, and I just wanted to share a short little snippet from this episode that I really enjoyed. However, if you want to listen to the full episode, either scroll down this post or head to mikejamesreid.com/podcast for the full episode. Thanks and enjoy. How do you find that critical kind of threshold point or know that point, Ben, where it's time to switch from, growth mode and build mode to step back, relax, sit on the porch mode? Because my experience is often it's so easy to let the pendulum swing too far one way and then get, either burnt out or, bored, complacent and, stuck in a rut.
I think sometimes we have seasons. There's seasons in the day, there's seasons in the week, seasons in the month, seasons in the year. Seasons of spring where it's all systems go, and then autumn when it's it's time to kind of wind back and slow down. And that can be, I think you can even have those within a day. You can have bursts within the day and then moments of just sitting and reflecting and not being active. Yet I think a lot of us try and balance our day when it comes to the allocation of our assets, for example, of energy. We want to just make sure we pace ourselves throughout the day. I just wonder whether we can have a day when it's all systems go, lots of energy, and then you have a day when you're not doing anything at all. What does a balanced day look like? A balanced week, a balanced month? I think they're all 4 seasons.
I love that concept of seasons. We talk about that at Dent, actually, when it comes to running campaigns throughout the year. And, we might have a campaign for a particular event that's coming up and, we're in that sort of summer month leading up to the event, where it's intense, it's hot, it's fiery, it's, you kind of, it feels like you're in the fire, right? You're in the middle of summer and, the spring build up and the planning that goes with that. And then you kind of move into an autumn winter phase where it's, getting back into, okay, let's reset, let's rest, let's plan for the next one. So I'm glad you brought that up. I can definitely relate to that. And if we were to maybe just shift gears a little bit, and I'd love to share something with people listening. And last time we caught up in Melbourne, we got up in the morning and we went and did something kind of stupid. Can you tell us the story of what happened?
I still love it. Well, I remember you came down and you were all super keen to go for a morning swim. And so I suggested that what we did was that we ran down into Frankston and then have a swim and then run back. And I was training for a marathon, I think, and I had a certain amount of kilometres that I needed to do that morning. And so I think I told maybe a little white lie to you that we're only going to run, I think it was 7 or 8 Ks, and you're okay with that. But I think we ended up running 12 or 13 Ks that morning. And you hadn't run for a little while. The run down into Frankston, down to the beach is downhill, so it's all good. And that morning it was blowing a gale, if I remember rightly, and raining as well. Sideways rain. Yeah. And the water was super rough. And I remember as we were kind of running back, and I said, we're still going to jump in for a swim. And there was this kind of pause, probably from both of us really, about whether we jump in because it was the middle of winter. But we did. We jumped in. It was beautiful. I mean, it was amazing to jump in and refreshing. But I can remember you getting out of the water and trying to do your shoelaces up, and your hands were so frozen from the wind and the rain, and then jumping into the ice-cold wintry water that it took you probably 3 or 4 minutes to get those laces done up.
Well, actually, I never even physically could tie them up. I actually had to get you to,
yes.
tie up my laces like an 8-year-old child again.
That's right.
And then we sort of limped back home.
Yeah. But the funniest thing was, mate, that you didn't have any underpants on, and you decided to run you're running in your bathers. So for the entire trip home, you were getting chafed by the salt and the sand, etc.
Ben, the story was meant to stop at the tying the laces up part. I wasn't expecting that bit to come out as well. But hey, thank you for sharing that. Yes, I did have some serious chafing going on. But the thing about that story that really strikes me that I love is when we went on that run, what struck me about you, mate, was your mindset towards this marathon that you had coming up. And you told me a few stories the night before that you've got a variety of different injuries. You've got a foot injury that's kind of left you with a foot that's probably not really meant to run a marathon, or 10Ks, let alone a marathon. You were just about to turn 50 years old. And for a lot of blokes out there, they'd start to compromise. They'd maybe give up on the dream. And I could see the mind game you were playing. I could kind of hear that internal dialogue and those pep talks that you'd give yourself to keep your mind stronger than your body. And it struck me, and this is just my observation, but it struck me that you were constantly chipping away at the edges of yourself, building a stronger and stronger mental body block by block. And so my question to you is, how important is that head game, in inverted commas, in life? And can you maybe share your thoughts around what I've just shared with you and, how you approach that head game?
There's probably two dominant thoughts in my mind around why I choose to do some of those things, like do a marathon. The first one is that I just wonder whether every year we could actually get fitter, faster, stronger, and more flexible than the year before. Sometimes I think we start compromising our life by saying, look, I'm another year older, therefore it's okay, I'm another half a kilo heavier. Or I'm another year older, it's okay that, that I can't bend down and touch my toes anymore. And now I know that I'm going to get older, and one day maybe I'm not going to get down and touch my toes, but I just wonder if I could be even more flexible next year rather than less flexible. I wonder if I could actually get stronger next year rather than less strong. And so the part of me pursues that, the answering of that question. I don't know, one day maybe I won't be stronger the next year than the year before, but I wonder, what could I do to be that little more flexible, that little bit more energetic, that little bit stronger? So there's that underlying question I ask myself every year. This year, for example, we've started again, 2019. How could I be stronger this year? How could I be faster this year? So there's that underlying question, and I've been probably asking myself that question probably for the last 10 or 15 years, maybe even longer actually, since the dreaded palm tree accident where I busted my foot up. But the other thing, the big driver for me, and I'm not sure it's always a great one, in fact my wife contends it's probably not a great one, is my fear of being seen as weak. It is my greatest fear that if someone was to see me and see me as weak. So I tend to do a lot of things that would prevent someone from seeing me as weak. I want to be seen as strong. I remember when I busted my foot up and months later they took the cast off. And I was okay about having the cast. I thought, I'm going to have a bit of a break, have a holiday, wander around the house in my dressing gown like Hugh Hefner, read some books, make some model aeroplanes. This is going to be great. And I intended after 3 months to take the cast off and get back to work, And I took the cast off and I couldn't walk. And then within months I still couldn't walk, and I was on a walking stick. And that was just all my fears coming back to haunt me. And it only took another month or two, and I was doing depression, I was doing miserable, I was doing serious unhappiness.